Welcome to 20 Twice, episode 19. Come on, man. Episode 19. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? The election edition. You know what I'm saying? The election edition. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, just want to get started. It's always, I got a lot on my mind I want to talk about, with this election and everything that's going on. It's light on my mind. And I'm trying to just, make sure that I get everything in that I want to talk about today. You know what I mean? Just like sometimes you got a lot on your mind. It's hard to get everything out because you're just like, man, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. But Lord willing, I have time to talk about a lot of stuff that I want to. But I do want to talk about the election and how everything is going right now. But yeah, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to everybody who listens to this show like I always do. You know what I mean? This is 20 Twice, episode 19, man. We didn't got it this far. You know what I mean? We want to keep going. Lord willing, we'll keep going. You know what I mean? We're going to keep trying to do the real. But like always, let me start to get it out the way is I appreciate everybody who listened to this show. I know I say it all the time and I've been saying it on every episode, but I appreciate it. You know what I mean? We've got a lot of traction and people have listened to it and gave us our feedback and comments. And like always, I tell people, whatever you want to talk about, you can always send messages to my Twitter page or whatever it is, man. I'm always open for the dialogue. This is what this show is about. I'm always open for the dialogue, you know what I mean? I guess what I could say, your opinion, everybody's opinions account, whatever it is, it counts, to understand people or just try to work towards something. So I like to thank everybody who listened to this podcast. You could be doing anything else, watching it on YouTube or wherever you may listen to this. I appreciate it because there's a ton of podcasts out there. Podcasts is everywhere. So if somebody could just listen to me, it's just me. I ain't got no producers or nothing like that. It's just me out here just doing this thing, man, trying to put something together that I think that makes sense or they give you a little knowledge or, something else that you may not have thought about. So, you know what I mean? I'm here. So I'd like to thank everybody for that. I do want to say, I'd like to thank I had a new listener in Ghana. With Ghana, west of South Africa. Yeah, I said it. You know what I mean? We just doing a little bit, a little bit different. You know what I mean? We're doing a little bit. We're getting different listens. We're working on tons of stuff right now. Trying to do new listeners and try to, get our show out there. And so this is what I'm doing, man. This is what I'm doing. And what I want to do now is that as I keep going and try to progress in this show, I want to do different things and how I feel, but I want to take my time, make sure I just don't mess up the flow because I like the flow where it's going right now. You know what I mean? But I do want to start integrating the quote of the day. You know what I mean? It's kind of how I feel sometimes, and I like quotes. Sometimes quotes inspire you to do better. And my quote that I have today is from Marlo Thomas. The quote starts off by saying, "My father said there were two kinds of people in the world, givers and takers. The takers may eat better, but the givers sleep better." And for me, it was big for me. That point is big for me. And I'll read over again from Marlo Thomas. "My father said there were two kinds of people in the world, givers and takers. The takers may eat better, but the givers sleep better." And it felt more or less for me. It was me, you know what I mean? Because I think when I was in my early ages, I was just trying to take. I was always just I'm just on the edge trying to figure out how I can get this and how I can get that. And then when I decided to give back or try to help or think about somebody more than myself, I start feeling better and I start sleeping better, to be honest. You know what I mean? I don't have to worry about anything. I'm not, trying to get over on nobody. I'm just trying to be real. I'm trying to live this life and, just to be a better person. You know what I mean? So I thought that quote was, it was more personal to me. So that's what I said. But going forward, I will have a quote of the day. And, I'm going to start to get a little bit more visible on my Twitter page. I've still been putting a couple of things out, but I haven't really got focused on to do certain stuff. But yeah, man, I appreciate, I just appreciate everybody just giving me this platform to be able to say what I feel. But yeah, we're going to start doing different stuff on here. So, you just have to listen to see what's up. But, I always say, I never really know what I'm talking about. But, I kind of like get to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm talking about, but the election is it. I pushed this show off. I was trying to get it out earlier this week. but we still was waiting on the election. And then come today, they have it for Biden, President-elect Biden. But, it's still not over. I know a lot of people want to go to it like, we still count votes and there's still other votes. But, pretty much it just, we can keep going back and forth. But, it's over, man. You look at it right now, 74 million votes, over 74 million votes for Biden. And President Trump got over 70 million votes. So, that's a ton of votes, man. That's a ton of votes, but to have 4 million votes more, but, it's crazy. So I'm just saying, when I look at it is, as this election is going on, the surprising fact to me is you got a lot of people mad about certain stuff, but it's just so crazy that how you look at it, it almost just break down that the whole 50 states are just split. It just split how people feel, And I guess that's the United States, man. Everybody is different. They feel different. They think different, But at this point, I just felt like we at that stage where everybody's just trying to fight to say what they feel, or they feel like they want to make people see how they feel, or they're going to make you think how they think. But I think that's not the right way to do it. And if you listen to this show, I'm never preaching one thing. I'm preaching togetherness and trying to work together, because that's the only way we're going to get it. I know it sounds like it ain't really nothing, like, man, that ain't going to really happen. Reality, that's not going to really happen. But I'm hoping that it does, because like I said, I look for stuff for myself, of course. I want to live a better life, and I want to be able to walk down the street and not have, any issues, and, or drive my car to work or whatever and not have any issues. So, of course, I want stuff to change, So, I want to start off, about this election. Election is, a lot of people, the president, Trump come out and said that he thought that the election was stolen from him. And I hope it's not. And, to look at it, I hope that they count every vote. Every vote that's, I get it, legally vote. I get that part. But the part I didn't like is, like, if you're losing, to say, oh, yeah, man, this is something that says rigged, it's rigged, it's rigged. Or the states that you're losing, it's rigged. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right to even go that far. But of course, if somebody's cheating about this election, of course, you want it to be fair. You want it to be fair. Life ain't fair, but, you want the election to be fair. So I get that part. I get that part of waiting for you call states and stuff like that. But the way it looked like, seemed like you just reaching, you just reaching to try to figure out something. And it just seems like certain people are just working with Trump and trying to go with that part, like, yeah, it's something going on, it's something going wrong, it's something doing that. But I don't know if everybody really believe that, but it's just like, okay, let's lean to something else, or let's just do something else. And to be honest, my opinion on Trump is that I like Trump ambition. I think that he achieved a lot of stuff. He doesn't have, in his mindset, it seems like he doesn't have that, like, he can't fail mentality. And sometimes I think you need that to achieve the stuff that you do. And that's why I thought that it was pretty cool for him. And that's why I kind of liked him on that point. But the other stuff that he does and other stuff he doesn't say, or the stuff that he does say, I think he just separates people. And I think as a president, it's not just the people that vote for you, it's the other people that may not vote for you, so you can bring them on your side. I don't think he did that. I don't think he cared about doing that. I think he just appealed to one base, and he's just trying to go that way. But I think as a president, you got to be for everybody. You got to try. You can't, you're not going to be for everybody. You got your own party to deal with, but you got to be able to galvanize people and get people together. That's why I felt like that wasn't happening. It was just one that he was just on the people that voted for him, or the people that voted for him last time, or his base. It was just his base, and he didn't care about nothing else. And we seen he almost pulled it off, and it's not over yet. They're calling it now, but it's not over. It's still legal stuff, and I get it. You got to do what you do, but just to waste time and just reaching, I think that's just a little bit much. I think everything has been, said and done. Think about it. If it's the Georgia, it turns blue. It becomes a Democratic since 1992. Come on, man, that's crazy. But, you know, I mean, I think that the way stuff is going on right now, I think that it's maybe a good thing for this country right now to just go another way. You know what I mean? Just go another way. You know what I'm saying? Let's do something different. You know what I mean? I get it. You know, everybody got their personal beliefs and not stuff like that. But I think the way it's set up right now, it may help Biden the way it's go because, you know, the Republicans has a Senate. So he has to work with the Republicans. So, you know, Republicans still can get the stuff that they want to get done. You know what I mean? But I just think over the days to see Biden come out, it was just more professional, man. That suit and tie thing, you know what I mean? You know, act like you've been here before, man, type thing, man. Like you're president. It's not a reality TV show. These are people's lives. And, you know, we sitting up here just wasting time and people, you know, the coronavirus thing is still going on and it's getting worse and nobody really talking about it because we worried about the election, but it's other stuff to be worried about, man. And it's, you know, and I think sometimes when it comes to Trump, it was just more about himself than the country, man. It's the country, you know what I mean? You know, this United States, you know what I mean? And then I hear reports coming out talking about other countries looking at it, laughing at the United States like it just, come on, man, that is ridiculous. I just think it's a lot of professionalism. I mean, I get it. Wait till everything is over, everything is counted, recounted, or whatever it is to certify it. I get it. But we looking at it now. We know that, you know, it's going to be something different. You know, Biden come in here, you know, Biden, the regular guy. And I was just looking at a story they had Biden talking about his father worked at a used car sale place. And, you know, the owner used to give silver tokens to workers and some of the customers who give silver tokens. And one day it was like a Christmas party or something like that. And then Joe Biden's father had his wife there. And then I guess the owner of the dealership threw out silver coins on the floor just to see everybody rush for it. And he said his dad walked out. It was like, this ain't where your workers are supposed to be treated. You know what I mean? And I thought that was just like a common man thing. You know what I mean? I've been at jobs where you felt like you just wasn't treated right. You know what I mean? So it's like he just like comes for the common man. And the way he speaks about bringing everybody together, that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. You know, you're not knowing if everything is going to work out, but, you know, it's something different, man. It's something different. And, you know, when we talk about people trying to steal the election, you know, on one of the news they said that it's Democrats and Republicans alike counting the votes. You know, one said one person opens the envelope, another person takes the slip out the envelope, then one person reads it, and then one person writes it down. So it seems like it's pretty legit, you know what I mean? It seems like it's pretty legit, you know what I mean? I don't know. I guess they're going to file some stuff and see if it, you know what I mean? If they cheat, man, they need to be out of there. Whatever they cheating on, they need to be out of here, man. That's crazy. If you cheating, you cheating, you know what I mean? Get them out of there. I get it. I'm not saying that that's right or not, but the fraud part, I mean, like most people saying, you got to make sure you got to have proof. You can't just have a little bit of stuff, and you can't definitely do it for the states that you're losing. So the ones that you win and you like, oh, I'm shit, they did good over there, but the ones I'm losing, they had to be cheating. Come on, man. Come on, man. That don't even make any sense, man. That don't even make any sense. So, you know, we'll see how it go. You know, we'll see how it go, man. But you know, I just think it's times is different, and I think we need to do something different, man. Let's try something different. And I know before I said, you know, hey, if you think ain't nothing wrong with it, then leave it the same. But clearly, a lot of people think it's something wrong with it. And clearly, I think some of the Republicans scared of Trump in the first place. That's why they wouldn't say anything. But I don't think they really like, you know, him tweeting out and stuff like that. We don't have to worry about that no more. I don't think Biden gonna be on Twitter cussing people out and doing all that. And I get it, it's entertainment. But come on, man, I think we need something better. You know, we need something else. You know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff going on. You know, it's a lot of coronavirus and stuff going on that ain't, you know what I mean? We need to start focusing on something, man. Focus on working with people instead of always excluding people. That's the whole thing that we have. And I guess listen to people, their opinions. You know what I mean? There's 70 million people, over 70 million people believed in what Trump believed in. So I think we need to figure out what they believe in and see if we can come to a common ground and everybody can get closer to where they want to be at. I mean, I think we can work on that type of thing. You know, and then on another note, you know, the first black woman vice president, how dope is that? Come on, man. That's dope. You know what I mean? For my daughter to see it, you know what I mean? For any race of women to see it, that you can get up there, you know what I mean? You can make it up there, you know what I mean? I know it's a male dominant world, but, you know, just think that, you know, as women stepping up and, you know, it's going to be a woman in a background of leading this country, and that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? So I just think that it's exciting time just to see if something different gonna happen. You know what I mean? I know it's a slow motion, and I guess I'm just being more optimistic than most people, but you need to be optimistic about a lot of stuff, man, because, you know, what you just gonna stay in the same spot and be like, oh man, nothing's gonna change, man. It's changing. It's slowly changing, but it's changing a little bit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because the one thing that I didn't like about all this stuff was, you know, we always get like terrorists and stuff up about terrorists, and it's always like Islamic terrorists or Al Qaeda and stuff like that. But we got domestic terrorism here. You know what I mean? And the definition of domestic terrorism is a form of terrorism in which victims with a country are targeted by pre-predators with the same citizens. So this is Americans against Americans. Like, you're gonna blow this up, or you're gonna intimidate people. You're gonna do this type of stuff, and you're gonna try to kidnap governors. You're gonna try to do this stuff to prove what point? What point are you trying to prove? And you know what I mean? And we sitting up there, and every time it gets to something, we'll, oh yeah, it's Muslims and how they're, you know, they doing this terrorist type thing and certain thing, and then we think how most people think about them like that, and then we got domestic terrorism on our own land, that we're attacking our own people. Like, come on, like, this is crazy, and nobody say nothing about it. Like, it's okay. And I get it. It's in our fabric. Like, hey, it's no big deal, and this, you can get away with this, or it's always an excuse for certain stuff. And oh, don't worry about that. They could protect this place, and these people can get killed, and it's no big deal. Like, come on, man. Like, we need to work together. It's crazy out there, man. If you can't walk the streets and you think that, or when you watch TV, or you're on Facebook, or you're on Twitter, and you see these videos about this thing about Karen and all this shit ain't funny. We see a lot of them, and you see them, and you sit there, but most of the time when you watch them, you're like, damn, this is sad, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. Like, let's bring this shit together. Like, how are you sitting up here doing this, man? Like, this is crazy. So in my opinion, I think it's just, it's a move step. We moving forward. We moving forward. And I think, you know, not to say everything gonna be right, but we moving forward. You know what I mean? And Biden saying the right thing, that don't mean that everything is gonna be right. And he gonna have some growing pains, of course, but he's done it before, at least in the background as a vice president. And most people, Republicans and Democrats alike, respect him. So I think that we should give him a shot, you know what I mean, and see. And like I said, I guess you can't say we could wait and see if this is over with, because, you know, we still going on with this, the recounts and all that type of stuff. But come on, man, I think we already know that it's pretty much over for Trump. You know what I mean? I don't know where he go from there. You know what I mean? It's not like he going to the poorhouse from here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I guess he can go back to his work or do his reality show or whatever he do. But you know what I mean? He basically can do something else different, man. And I just hope that he could do a little bit better if it's all founded that everything worked out right, that he would at least, you know, lead people in the right direction instead of just going off like it's like this, the country is going another way, like this stuff wasn't right or somebody took something from him. Nah, and I don't think so. I just think that we got to a point where you assumed that something you was going to win and it didn't happen. Maybe it was like Hillary Clinton. She assumed that she was going to win and it didn't happen. And you just got to deal with that, you know what I mean, and just move forward. But I think this time in this country, we need to move forward, man, because we not moving nowhere. We just getting worse and worse and worse. And, you know, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I sit up here on these shows and I try to talk and I try to tell you the real, man. I try to tell you how I feel. But when you look out there, man, it's scary. You know what I mean? It's more scary, not for myself, because I know at the end of the day that I'm trying to do better. But I know it's people out there that don't want stuff to be better. You know, I know it's people that don't want everybody to have rights. I know it's people out there that don't have women to have equal rights. I know it's people out there that don't want black people to have equal rights. I know it's just people out there that don't want people to have shit. I get it. I get it. And I laugh because you know what I mean? It's real life. And sometimes you got to laugh at stuff or you're going to cry about it. But we just leaning towards something different, man. And I'm just hoping that it turns into something else. But then again, at the end of the day, if it's wrong, 4 years, everybody don't get their shot to go back out there and try to make sure they can get another president that they want. So these next 4 years, like I said, and it's not over. I get it. It's not over. A lot of people saying that, and I'm not calling anything, but they already called it. So that's why I'm doing this show today, because they already called it. Even Fox News called it. And, Fox News been, always riding with Donald Trump. But now they on the point where they're like, hey, we got to kind of be, a real news station. Like everybody else, we got to be a real news station and not call these stuff and not go for one candidate, but just tell a real story. And that's not really going to happen all the time, but let's try to do something different, man. Let's try to do something different, man. That's the whole thing. Let's try to do something different. You know what I mean? But I just think that we in a place where it's needed. It's needed to do something different, to go different. But enough of that, man, because I could come back on with another episode when other stuff. They just announced it this morning, so but we'll see. President-elect, Biden, Joe Biden, 74 million votes, though. That's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, Trump ain't no slouch with 70 million. I'm just thinking that's a ton of people voting. So that's cool. That just letting you know that people are trying to be in control of their own destiny. But, like I always do, I have stories in my head and I try to think, like, what's a good story like that happened to me or I experienced or that I could talk about or whatever like this. So I remember when I was younger, I was in college and, we used to get these Pell Grants or some people know them as financial aid. We get these financial aid checks and, they were just like checks they were supposed to go for buying books and, paying for tuition and stuff like that. But most of the time they was just like kind of like party money. You get them, every 3 months and you just use them, My mom used to help me with my rent and stuff like that and then paying my bills and stuff like that. So, I would get financial aid checks and I would call my mom and be like, yeah, I got a financial check. And my mom always said, just make sure you spend it in the right spot, which I wasn't. I was just spending it on other shit, partying or whatever it was. So, so it'd be like $1,200, maybe $1,100 checks every 3 months or whatever. So, and my problem was I used to get these checks and the first thing I used to do would go to the tow yard that was right down the street from the school and get like a car. It was like just like any kind of car, like they had buckets in there and these cars they barely did work, but it was just better than catching a bus. So, you spend like, I think some of them be like $400 to $600 and you just go in there and just kind of like, just pick the one you want. You know what I mean? And I did that a couple of times. So one time I seen it was an LTD. I mean, this LTD had to be like the longest fucking car in the world, bro. I think this car is like 18 feet long. Like I looked at it, it was like 18 feet long, man. I had a 1974 LTD 4-door hardtop. The front and the passenger seat was like Freddy Krueger went to the front seat. Freddy Krueger just went there. But for what so was weird about it, the whole back seat was perfect. Like immaculate, like nobody did anything to the backseat. Nothing was wrong with the backseat and not at all. And so I was like, all right, man, I think that I paid like $450 for it. No tags, no insurance and nothing, but I'm just gonna ride it till the 2 wheels fall off, man. That's how I was doing it, man. And I know it was right, but I just got them, rode them, rode them till they just stopped running, So this one I had, now that I getting older, I'm like, man, that was some weird ass shit you was doing, like. So the steering column was messed up. So the steering column was messed up and I thought it was just broke. So I was like, let me get the steering column fixed. And the guy's like, oh, it's like $200. And I'm like, shit, I already spent $450 for it. And now I'm spending $200 to get it fixed. I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. So all of a sudden I get this car and I'm knowing that I'm waiting for the guy. Usually you fill out the paperwork to get the car at the tow yard, and then you got to get them registered and all, but I didn't do all that shit. I was just riding to, I could ride. So I go and I ask the guy, I'm like, usually they give you the keys, and he's like, there's no keys. I'm like, no keys. It's like, nah. So it was a screwdriver. Somebody stole it. So I was like, it's a screwdriver. So I used a screwdriver to start the car. And mind you, I'm going everywhere. I'm going to a store and shit. I'm starting the car up with a screwdriver. And I'm thinking to myself, this is probably not the smartest thing to do, but whatever. So me and my partner used to just ride around, when I get the cars or whatever, just to see what kind of cars are. So I pick him up, we riding, And, you know, when you're riding dirty, you try to avoid the police as much as possible. So most of the time you can avoid the police by getting on the freeway and just kind of go a straight shot instead of hitting the streets. Cause you know what I mean? That's it, you know. So we got on the freeway and the steering wheel was so messed up that if the car started going another way, you had to pray that God brought it back. Like it would go all the way left or all the way right. And you just kind of like this, please just, God, please get me back on the road. Get me back on the road. So I get on the freeway and we driving, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden I look up and I see a bag or something in the freeway. So I'm like, oh shit. So I try to avoid it, but I forgot that I didn't have no kind of control over my steering. So when I try to avoid it, I go one way, I go back the other way. And mind you, I'm on a freeway. And I all of a sudden we do like 4 figure eights. I kid you not, at least 3.5 figure eights on the freeway. And it was just like the slowest motion in my mind thinking about, oh shit. Because when I start turning, it starts spinning around on the freeway like a 360. I'm thinking to myself, and we spinning around like maybe 60 miles per hour doing this little figure eight. And I'm looking at my partner, he looking at me. I'm like, yeah, we about to die. We about to die. And so happened that thing spins back right around the point where you about to get off the freeway. And I'm like, yeah, it's time to get off the freeway. I'm just going to just ride dirty up in this. And I think even that shit was like maybe almost 20 years ago. And me and my partner still come across when we talk about that, how we could have died because I was buying these little tow yard cars that were shit and just riding them and shit and just riding dirty and not even tripping, just trying to, what I call like enjoy life. Like I'm enjoying life, like, cause I got a little car and I don't have to catch the bus for a week or two. You know what I mean? These cars didn't last long. So when I drop him off, I go home and the next day I go drive down the street and go to the store. I get up to the light and all of a sudden I'm seeing my car smoke. I'm like, oh man. So I pull to the side, pull up these little, places where they have like little businesses. I pull to the side, I'm looking, open the trunk, boom. The engine just caught on fire. And I'm sitting there like, oh, this little bucket, you know what I mean? So this guy came out there with a extinguisher. He like, shh. He puts the extinguisher, the fire out of the thing. He's like, oh, let me go in there and go get you go get a phone book. You know, back in the day, it was a phone book. Let me get you a phone book so you can call you a tow truck and get this car towed. I was like, oh, yeah, you go do that. As soon as he took off, I took off too. Shit, what the hell am I supposed to do with the car? You know what I'm saying? That car just gonna stay where it stay. Shit, so when he walked in to get that phone book, I walked off to get to the house. We just, to me, we just made a mutual agreement. He got the tow, he'll call him and they'll tow it, I'm get on. But I'm just thinking about myself, how much we just spend money on little shit just to make you happy. And it was just ridiculous. It was unsafe. And I laugh at it, but I'm like, damn, man. Now I think about I try to be more smarter. But back then I was like, damn, I was stupid. But, you know, I just thought about like, God, that is LTD, man. It's the longest car in the world, man. It spit around on the freeway, and I was like, oh, this is over with. But I appreciate everybody who listened to this episode, man. And hopefully we be up, you know, Lord willing, episode 20. Oh, man, we'll see what we can do on that one, man. I'm hoping we can do something, you know, something great, man, because to make it into the 20 episode, man, is crazy. And like I said, we're going to start bringing some new things. I know we brought today the quote of the day, you know what I mean? But we're going to start interviewing people, bringing people on, giving their insights on whatever we're talking about or, you know, whatever subject I'm talking about. And that's the new goal. That's what we headed to. And we're going to throw a little politics in it. You know what I mean? We're just going to throw a little politics in it. You know what I mean? Hopefully we ain't making nobody, you know, boring nobody out with the politics. But, you know, I think it's beneficial that we talk about it. A lot of people don't like to talk about politics because it starts stuff and people want to fight about it. But I think we need to open up the dialogue, man. So I appreciate everybody who listened to this. And we're just going to keep opening up the dialogue, man. So, hey, I'll see you then.